All right, we are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Another episode after a couple weeks. We are back. Spirit of the North podcast. You have myself, host Casey Blueford, my co-host, Mr. Derek Murray. D, what's up, man? It's been a couple weeks. We got a lot to talk about today.
Hey, listen, man, we might not always be there when you want us, but we're always on time. All
No, it's cool, man. The thing about so for those that don't know, the thing about what we do is we just try to have fun with this thing. Like we all got stuff we kind of got going on, either whether it's school, whether it's work. So the text put it like this: the text stays hot throughout the week. The text will show like we might not get pods off, or whatever. And, this is just practice and it's fun and it's a source, but the text definitely stays hot. So we definitely got a lot to talk about tonight. We are minus email tonight. Email's been working crazy, so he needs some Z's tonight. But we got a lot to talk about NBA trade deadline. We have no script, no agenda tonight, so we just going off the top. I got my wine in my mug tonight, and I'm sipping and we chopping.
This is a very intimate evening. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Paul.
All right. So that being said, you know what? Let's start off with high level overview. So what were your thoughts? Just overall overview of the NBA trade deadline. What you think?
Man, did not disappoint. Did not disappoint. I mean, for all the conversation about ratings and about the drop in quality and how this era is this and the past era is that. I still gotta say, man, this part of the year, trade deadline, is probably the most exciting piece of sports media
Yeah,
out of
it,
any
it,
sport, I think, that we witness. It's
it
incredible,
really
man.
is. It really is though. It's almost becoming almost like a holiday. And I was just thinking, I feel like the NBA, so the NFL offseason is interesting because you do see moves in the NFL offseason, but it's over a span of time. Even though the NBA has all the way up until February 8th or whatever the day is, we always know it's like that last week that's like the window.
Something's
So
coming.
yeah, and I feel like every year, whether it's quiet, to some level, but there's always something new. There's always something interesting at the trade deadline. Um, so I love it. I feel like it's sort of part of the aura now of the NBA, part of like the whole essence of the NBA. So I'm pretty excited anytime it comes down to the trade deadline. So well, we're gonna talk about the biggest trade, but before we do that, I want to ask you about something. Let's talk about the new second apron, right? Because we're going to talk about the Luka Doncic, of course, but like, is this the beginning of what we may start to see more and more with the second apron, with the way the salary cap is? Well, we might start seeing more of these high impact or like high profile players being traded, mid season at the deadline. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man. I think we are in the midst of the pendulum swinging back into the favor of ownership or
Mm,
governorship, as they like to say now.
yeah, yeah,
But I think when Adam Silver took the reins of the NBA, we were pretty much at the peak of player empowerment.
yeah.
We were seeing a lot of forced trades at this point. We were seeing a lot of essentially holdouts, right? I mean, you had Ben Simmons hold out from Philly for almost an entire season in order to get traded. You had situations with Kyrie, with Kevin Durant, with James Harden gaining weight, right? We were at peak player empowerment, and with the CBA shifting and players making more money, we were essentially witnessing highway robbery, so to speak, when it came to what players could get away with. And I think with this new CBA, with this first and second apron being added, it in a way, Case kind of gives ownership a little bit more leverage when it
Hmm.
comes time to
Hmm.
renegotiate, right? So if
Hmm.
like you're seeing with this Lucas situation, even though we're gonna get into that in a little bit,
Hmm.
you're seeing with a situation like this, hey, if you're not if I'm paying you a super duper max, and we're not in championship contention on a consistent basis, or you're not an all NBA player or in all NBA shape, you're out of there. I don't have to pay you
Mhm.
this.
Right, and that's the thing, and that's why I feel like this is. I mean, you know what? Let's get to it. So Luka Doncic traded from the Dallas Mavericks, shocked the world literally a week ago. A week ago this night, a week ago, I was flying home from Vegas. Actually, just got home, winding down. I was up pretty late. Usually, I'm asleep by that time. Check the Twitter or whatnot or X before I'm going to bed. Just kind of get some laughs off before I fall asleep. And I see the Shams. I'm like, this ain't real, right? I'm scrolling. I see a couple more things. I'm like, wait, what? Go to the room, wake the wife up. Hey, big screen light all up in her face. Like, look at that trick. Like she pops out of bed. Like, so long story short, we are a week removed from probably, would you agree, the biggest mid-season trade in NBA history. And honestly, probably the biggest mid-season trade in sports history. So, now that we are a week removed, what are your overall thoughts on the Luka Doncic Anthony Davis trade? And we're going to kind of dive deep into this thing.
Yeah, man. This is the most egregious trade I think I've ever witnessed.
Talk
This
to me.
was blasphemous. All right, on the part of on part of the your home city, the Dallas Mavericks. This was unconscionable,
Irre-
unprecedented,
irresponsible.
irredeemable. Right? I mean, what the hell were they thinking with this one? Of all the superstars to pull this with, right? You got Zion Williamson, who can't keep his weight down, who can't stay on the court, right? You got
You know what I'm
Joel
about to say.
Embiid,
Joel
who came
Embiid.
out and said he's not work. He basically he's calling out on the night of a back to back, right? and these guys are getting
No.
mixed out, right? And you got Luka, 25 years old, top 3 best player in the world, not just the NBA, right? Not even entering. He's not even in his prime yet, right? Just came from a playoff run that resulted in a championship series, right? They failed, unfortunately. However, that just happened.
That just this
happened.
this past season, like 7 months ago. No, it'd be here's the thing, bro. It would be different if it's okay. They got to the finals 2-3 years ago. No, this was literally last season. Like, this is the most egregious move I've ever seen.
Was he in shape? No, he wasn't in shape.
Does it matter?
Right.
Like, this dude is averaging a triple double. Does it matter? Like, yo, here's the thing. Like, Nico Harrison, yo, bro, the local news. I don't know if you've seen. I don't know if it's in the national news. He's getting death threats. So Nico Harrison, a la the Mavs GM, he's over here getting death threats. He's heightened security. They're rioting down at the arena on the day of games. So this is one of those moves that it may cost you your job, but it also may cost you your career. Depending on what you decide to do. But here's the thing: you have a global superstar. They're talking about the face of the NBA. Okay, you have a global superstar.
Ronaldo,
Messi, Ronaldo. I mean, you got Alcaraz.
Ohtani.
To me, bro, this is literally the Ohtani of the NBA, and it's literally the move of the same move. Ohtani going. At least Ohtani did it in the offseason. He chose to go to LA. You traded this man mid-season on a random Saturday night.
Trade.
On a random Saturday night.
About the trade.
on a random Saturday night, you moved. Yes, this is one of those. And then, did you see the press conference with Nico Harrison and Jason Kidd? Supposedly, Jay Kidd had no idea. Nico Harrison answers a couple questions and then dips. And Jay Kidd is just kind of sitting there having to answer the remaining of the rest of the questions, and he is like flabbergasted. He's probably thinking, "What the hell did you just do?" If I'm Jay Kidd, I want out. Like after this season, I'm like, "Yo, I'm not trying to be a part of this, bro. Like I'm out." So um, now let's talk. Let's talk. Actually, real quick, let's hit on something. I actually heard this from the Draymond Green podcast. Did you hear about the Danny Ainge angle?
Yep, I did hear about that.
Yo,
I did hear about that.
Rob Pelinka is a snake, bro.
Hey, look, we're gonna get into that. One last thing I did want to say about the Maverick side of things, real
Oh yeah,
quick.
go ahead.
I personally, I don't think that this was Nico Harrison.
Oh
I
no,
don't think that this
this
was
is
his
ownership.
choice.
This is ownership.
This was at the behest of ownership, and he was trying to keep his doggone job. That's what it
So let's
seems
talk.
like.
So I know we're all over the place, and this is why I keep an agenda. I want to get to the basketball side of things, then we'll get to the Utah Jazz stuff. But to your point, that is why I asked the question in the beginning. Ownership, obviously, these guys are billionaires, and they don't want. If you're a billionaire, you're not taking shit from a millionaire, right? In a sense of like, I'm a billionaire. You ain't gonna tell me how to run my operation. You're not gonna hold me hostage. I think this is the start of 7D. I can see in this offseason, I can see Joel Embiid getting moved. I can see Zion Williamson for sure getting moved. Um, I think those are like right now the only two that I can foresee, kind of like in that same kind of like window. But I think it's up for everybody at this point, right? So you talk about like the untouchables. I thought Luca was, at
I can
least
see
one of those
Devin Booker
five.
getting moved.
Yeah, yeah. Like I feel like I feel like owners are at the point to where if I'm gonna pay you, what was it like 350 mil or something like that? If I'm paying you 350 mil, pretty much 70 mil a year, like I need to almost guarantee we're gonna get to a title, or else I'd much rather take some mid level. And you know what? I can't knock them, but at the same time, I don't understand it. Does that make sense? Like I can't knock
Yeah.
them, but at the same time, from a basketball standpoint, if your goal is to put butts in seats and to be um, somewhat of a what's the word I want to use? Like if you want to be a high caliber team, like you have to have talent. So you got to pay these guys. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. But this definitely comes from ownership. Definitely from ownership.
You know what? Real quick to just piggyback off that last thought. Honestly, Case, I feel like unless you're winning a championship, and this is just from what I can imagine ownership's mindset is, unless you're winning a championship, I'm not getting my ROI. Like, yeah, we're putting butts in seats, but I'm also paying you $354 million for the
Yeah.
entirety of your contract. I could split that in between more assets,
Yep.
right? Keep my overhead down, you know what I'm saying?
Now, real talk. Real talk.
Price of this building and we, you know what I mean, hopefully build up for a championship in the future. But if you're not guaranteeing me a championship at 350 million or more, you've got to go, man. You've got to
Hey,
get out of here.
I get it. I honestly, I totally understand it. And obviously, it's not my money per se, but I do get it in the sense of like, I'm paying you all this money. Like, nah, you gonna bring your ass in shape. You gonna be in shape. You ain't gonna be talking crazy to like I said, billionaires do not want to take shit from millionaires. So I really think this is the start of something. But let's pivot. Let's pivot to the court on the court. So we've been able to see. We'll talk Dallas first. Tonight, first game for Anthony Davis. I feel like the sleeper here, though, real quick, is the Max Christie piece. I feel like the Max Christie piece is a nice addition to that, especially to that team. I feel like they have some nice, solid two-way wings now, and the addition of Max Christie like really bolsters the flexibility of the offense a whole lot more. I can see him in lineups with Kyrie, one of the bigs. You got Clay out there. You still got PJ Washington. They got some nice rotational pieces, put it like that. And I feel like Max Christie helps. But the biggest piece, Anthony Davis, premieres tonight, 26, 16, and 7. But he does leave in the third quarter. And it looked like he might have either pulled a groin or maybe a lower abdominal strain, which he's coming back from. So potentially could be a grade 2, which means he'd be out 4 to 6 weeks. Tonight, I feel like the Mavs got the full AD experience. I feel like they got the full AD experience in the sense of, oh my God, this dude is a top 5 player in the league. He's awesome. Oh wait, he's hurt. Thoughts on the Mavs?
Yeah, man. Friends of the pod know that I am a AD apologist. All right, AD is one of my guys. I had him in the MVP conversation prior to getting traded. And this is unfortunate. I never like to see injuries, let alone non-contact injuries, which always tend to be the worst ones. But you're right. You're right. I have to say, I mean, if you're following along on AD's career on the internet, this is the experience here.
This is the experience. and to be fair, I know he was given the name Street Clothes. To be fair, he has been way more durable the last couple seasons, right?
Right,
and I think that I want to make sure I state that. But when you need him most,
this is the worst possible time. This is the worst possible time this can happen. The Mavericks fans needed something to forget about the unprecedented trade of their superstar, and this just made it worse, basically.
and also, like, while I love me some Kyrie Irving, he is a smaller guard who does get banged up. So now you're putting your faith in two guys who are, pretty religiously injured. And while there's a lot of upside talent, there's a lot of reality too, in a sense of, are they going to stay healthy for the course of a full playoff run? Or are they going to be able to get enough work in together to make a long playoff run? Because if you're the Mavs, you kind of have probably a 2-year window here. Let's be real. Like, you have maybe 3 max, but you for sure got like a 2-year window before this thing can really get nasty, in a sense of AD's, kind of because AD's what, 32? He's kind of older 32 though. He's been banged up a lot. I think Kai's 32. He feels like he's been around for a while as well. So like, you got a small window here to really do some things before Luka really kind of hits his stride in LA and they get him some pieces. So, anything else on the Mavs end?
No. I mean, were you planning on touching on the Lakers at all?
Yep. We're gonna hit on them right now. Last thing I'll say about the Mavs, like I said, I really like the lineups. I think they have some really nice lineups. I think they might have trouble scoring the ball during spurts, but I think they can put out some nice, very good defensive lineups, and that could really help cover for Kyrie Irving, who we know is not, the most decadent defender per se. So I think the Mavs could be very interesting. I think in the right matchup, they can still knock somebody off in the playoffs. But the big story here is the Lakers. You have LeBron James getting ready to play with Luka Doncic. And I'm not a residential Laker fan, but I got to say, goddamn, that's going to be exciting basketball to watch. And the fact that Bron, you see a different Bron right now. I feel like Bron is like extra motivated right now. What do you expect out of your Lakers?
Man, I'm just getting sorry about that. I just getting an update. It's saying that the Lakers Hornets trade has been voided, apparently.
What? The Mark one?
Yeah, the Dalton Knecht Mark Williams trade rescinded due to failure to satisfy a condition of the trade.
Hold on. We got breaking news here. Hold on.
Very interesting.
Hold on. Let's dig into that real quick. Where is that at?
It's on Bleacher Report.
Okay, so pretty credible source here. Let's Let's dig into that real fast.
Now I'm just looking. It's a tweet by Mike Trudell, who is who essentially he's a Lakers beat writer. However, I'm not able to see any elaboration on what that means, like what conditions they broke.
Okay. Let's see here. How long ago was this? Let's see a report on NBA.com. An hour ago. It says add center Mark Williams from Hornets. Okay. Yeah, this is an hour ago. Okay, let's see.
We are breaking live news on Spirit of the North Pod. All right.
Let's see. Let's see here. Let me see what the most latest. Mark. Okay. Let's.
Did you find it?
Ask. Ooh. Lakers say. Oh, okay. Shams 8 minutes ago. All right. Lakers say the Mark Williams Dalton Connect trade has been rescinded. Yo.
Who was at fault here? Oh, it's the
Oh.
Hornets. Hornets failure to satisfy condition of deal. Maybe they got him in that locker room and they weren't rocking with that boy, and they said,
So Dalton. So okay. So Dalton.
Bring Dalton back. You know, we need some shooting.
Okay, here we go. Bobby Marks. The trade was conditional on Mark Williams and Dalton Connect reporting and passing the physical. Because the deadline is passed, the trade was not allowed to be amended. Williams goes back to Charlotte. Connect and can go back to LA. The draft conditions, the 2031 swap and 2031 protected first are voided. Oh, so my guess is Mark Williams didn't pass his physical. So okay, so now let's hit on it though. All right. So now this adds to the notion. So let's talk about what about them Lakers?
Yeah, I mean, listen, man.
So now you don't have a now you don't have a center.
Listen, as a Laker fan, right? We often hear how, you know, we are a delusional fan base, how we're relying on superstar talent, how, you know, we're operating under, you know, that bygone mentality of stars win championships and we lack development and all that. Well, listen up. I'm here to tell you that we are just hitting our stride, baby. We've done it again, baby.
Oh shit!
We reset the clock.
Right? That's it. That line right there is literally what y'all did. Y'all reset the clock. Y'all really reset the clock because that post Braun. Let's be real. A week ago, that post Braun thought
that was looking extremely dismal.
Hey, y'all was scouting 7th graders in middle school. y'all was
looking down bad.
You was at freshman hoop camps. Oh man, but you know what? Talk your shit. Talk your shit, bro. All right, so
nah, man. I listen, man. I don't understand it, and this is one of them things like the light bulb. I don't need to understand it as long as that thing turns on when I flip the switch. All right, and that's what I feel like Luka is going to provide. This was embarrassing to him, right? He had no clue that this was going to happen.
That part.
He's under the impression that he is one of the most elite
talent
in basketball.
He's a lifer. He was dirt. He was going to be the new dirt, right? He was
and now you just lit a fire under his behind. He is going to act a donkey in LA, and I can't wait to see it.
Yo, okay, so let's talk about what that fit looks like. Because truth be told, yo, Austin has been hooping.
Right.
Austin has been hooping. Obviously, he knows we all know he's not to the level of Braun or Luka. But if he's your third option, if he's your third, ball handlers, yo, that's kind of scary. I feel like everyone's like, oh, Braun's, what's Braun gonna? LeBron James is one of the smartest players to ever play the game. He's going to adjust just fine. You talking about a high pick and roll, but LeBron and Luka, like, what are you gonna do with that? If Braun is coming downhill with a 4-on-3, come on, man. Like what are you gonna do with that pick and roll? Then you got Austin. Austin can attack closeouts. Like, yo, it's gonna be interesting. Now, let's be real. No Mark Williams. That's a big loss, right?
That is a loss. We needed something like that.
But we all know there's the buyout market. Who's gonna get bought out in a sense of let me do some digging real quick. But real
Who
quick,
is on
how do
that
you think
buyout market?
let's see. Buyout candidates. Let's see.
While you're looking that up, though, just to touch on it, I would say that the Lakers right now picking up Luka are probably the best ball handling
Oh,
team in the NBA. I mean, because
yeah.
when LeBron doesn't have the ball, you've got Luka handling the ball, right? Which allows
Mhm.
LeBron to coast, right? This just extended LeBron's timeline, if we want to be real.
That's real.
But this you got two supercomputers, right? Operating at an extremely high level, making decisions out there on the floor. And then, like you said, when they need an out, they've got Austin Reeves as well. All of these guys are high
Mhm.
IQ. All of these guys have, an amazing ability to operate out of the pick and roll. Luka has an amazing ability to kick out to the corner. Getting Dalton back is going to add to the catch and shoot threat, right? The over the top
Yeah.
shooting that we'll need to pair with him. We do need a downhill vertical spacer, right,
You do.
for our
Yep.
big man. But like you said, if there are players available on the buyout market, look, man, look, all you gotta do is catch lobs, set screens, and catch lobs. That's it, bro. We're not asking you to do nothing else.
Yeah, I'm looking at I mean, I'm seeing like Daniel Tice, Mo Bamba,
Daniel
like
Tice got picked up by
oh, did he?
OKC.
Okay. Okay. Um, gosh, it's gonna be tough. But here's the thing. Yes, I think a vertical threat would be great, but I still think they can make noise though. I think now what that will take is in order to get out the West, obviously it's gonna come down to matchups. Could they beat the Nuggets? Could you put LeBron on Jokic for a whole series? Jackson Hayes is too
Honestly, Case,
he's too light. He's too light in the hats, bro. We know that.
I feel like the pressure should not be to win this season. Like, I
Okay.
feel like this is one of those problems that any team would love to have, in that you got Luka, you got Bron, and you got AR-15, and you've
So
got
you're
to put
not
a
worried
team
about winning.
around those. Right. We got
You're
to
not
put
worried
a
about
team
this
around
team.
those guys within the next 2 seasons. Right.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
got
because
2 seasons to get it together. Now having those two and
okay.
the option of Austin Reeves. Like,
Okay.
if we win this, if we do decently in this playoff run, that is a bright side to the scenario. But I don't think that we should be beholden to, well, are they going to win this year? Because I just don't feel like that's a realistic expectation. In my opinion, I'd be pleasantly surprised, but I don't think that that's going to be the case.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure we'll definitely talk about these Lakers a whole lot more. We had some first breaking news. First breaking news on the pod. Kind of cool. So let's move on to some other trades though. Let's talk about the other big one that not too many people are talking about as much anymore. Let's talk about Swipe of the Fox going to the Alamo. So De'Aaron Fox was traded to the San Antonio Spurs. So a little bit biased on both sides for us because Fox is Kings alum, and we love our city. But at the same time, I think Fox made a solid business move to align himself with Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs, and I think is going to be a great fit in San Antonio. What are your thoughts overall on the Spurs deal?
Man, kudos to San Antonio for making this deal happen without giving up any of the crucial pieces that they
Anybody,
have, right? Like,
anybody.
if I'm Sacramento, I'm off rip, requiring Castle
Castle.
or
Hmm.
Vassell. Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
and if not that, then Soshan, one of, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody give me an asset.
Somebody. No, they instead they decided to be the 2023 Bulls and get Zach LaVine to pair up with DeMar DeRozan. Have we not
Yo,
seen this before?
I hate that move.
Have we not seen
I
this before?
hate that move.
We've seen this for 2 seasons now. So, but Fox and Wimby, I mean, we've had a couple games to kind of see them get pairing. What would you say is what would be a successful season for them this year? Now, the West is loaded, so it may be a little challenging to get into the playoffs. But I still think they can make a nice little run. But what would you say is a successful season this year?
A play-in look.
Playing, yeah.
Playing look. Like, they don't even got to make the playoffs this year. I think their future is extremely bright. You got Swiper, who's what is he, 26?
Yeah, 26, I think. Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at least 3 to 5 seasons with Swiper in tow, right?
Yeah.
Victor Wembanyama will be top 5 next year, right? I'm calling that right now. If he's not top 5
if
already.
he's not top 5, yeah, I was gonna say if he's not already, right?
So I think for them, success would be a playoff, a playoff atmosphere in a single elimination opportunity. They get a bigger stage, right? And you get Wembanyama getting some big game experience. That'll be a win for them. They got a young team. Kind of send off CP3 as well. Give him one last hurrah.
Yo,
right? His antics off, right? And go into next season with the goal of we're going to be a legitimate playoff contender next
year. Yeah. First couple games together, they beat the Hawks the other day. Yo, shout out to the Hawks because the Hawks only get 2 national televised games, MLK Day and Black History Month. So Trae Young makes it work though. Anytime they play on national TV, Trae Young pop. But
and what are they doing too, right? I know we're not going to touch on them, but what the heck are they got going on over there, man?
Yeah, well, it might be all bad, especially what's the name getting injured the other night.
Trae Young's on that list.
Yeah.
Trae Young's on that list.
And I think Trae Young, after the game, might have told De'Aaron Fox, yo, you beat me to it. Because I think Trae Young was trying to make his way to San Antonio to pair up with Wemby as well. So shout out Rich Paul, man. Like straight up, shout out Rich Paul, because that is a great business move. And then the Spurs have lost a couple close games since the Hawks win. So they lost the other night, I think, to who beat them? Who came back and beat them? I think it was like Charlotte, like last minute or something like that. And they lost a close one to Orlando tonight. So I think to your point, if they can get to that 10 seed, get that one play in game and showcase themselves a little bit, I think that'll be a success. And then next year for sure make that push.
My question to you is, looking at the Sacramento side of things, man, when you kind of sequence it, things seem a bit fishy, right? So I kind of wanted to just kind of touch on this and then open it up to you to interpret. So I thought it was pretty glaring when De'Aaron Fox didn't accept the extension, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody, all my Kings friends were telling me, no, man, this is a smart business move. He's basically giving the team opportunity to sign someone else, right? To help add to the roster and give him some more weapons. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, but players in his position don't typically do that. Like they typically take that extension and let the chips fall where they may. But okay, I guess you're saying that De'Aaron Fox is different. All right, whatever. Sure enough, we get through the season, right? And it seems like things aren't clicking the way they used to, right? He seemed disconnected. His connection with Coach Mike Brown, a guy who he essentially pined for season before that, seemed like that has severed, right? Obviously, he started working with Clutch, did a deal with Steph. He's trying to raise his profile, right? Mm-hmm. My question to you, and I'm gonna let you cook, is: do you think that De'Aaron Fox sabotage the team, or do you think that this was D Fox, essentially on his Bron-ish?
Mm-hmm.
And if so, why?
Yeah, so I feel like D Fox pulled. I feel like he pulled a Giannis initially, and then that turned into like a LeBron type thing. Honestly, I don't think the Kings thought he was going to request a trade. And honestly, to be honest with you, I don't even think he thought he was going to request a trade. I think this is Rich Paul. I think this is Rich Paul in his ear saying, "Hey, you deserve more. We can find you a better situation." Because I genuinely believe, and I could be a fool by saying this, but I thought Fox was trying to stay here long term, and I think that the losing, just he just got fed up with all the losing, and then all the stuff that kind of came along with the organization, lack thereof. I think Rich Paul is telling him, "Hey, there's a spot in San Antonio. You can pay yourself up with Wimby." You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he got swayed.
No
I feel like
tax.
no tax. You're back in Texas. Your wife will be happy. Like this is a generational talent. You're just gonna dry up here.
You're gonna be
And
on TV more.
also, I think players learn from other players. I think Damian Lillard, right? I think Fox kind of thinking, I'm sure Rich Paul brought this up too. Like, you're gonna die off here. If you don't move now, you're gonna die off here. You're gonna lose value. Like, this is the time to do it. You'll be on national team. Nonetheless, I feel like Rich Paul sold him. I feel like Fox got swayed, and I feel like it was the business of basketball that got in the way. Which ultimately, the Kings, I felt like should and could have done a better job of getting more assets for him. When he didn't sign that extension, you got to put a plan in place now. Like if teams haven't learned from the whole Kevin Durant situation, you got to put in place a plan in place now. Like this is who we want by XYZ time if you don't sign by XYZ date. But again, I think that there was so much the players had so much power before this Luca move. I feel like this Luca move is going to shake some shit up. And I feel like some of these owners or some of these GMs, mainly the owners, obviously, we're going to start to see some more moves that are going to be like, oh snap! I don't think 2 3 years ago, to your point earlier, they would have made this move. So yeah, I am. I'm a little upset with this with the Kings though because the return product is not what you want. So the Kings aren't a team to where hey, we're trying to save up salary cap so we can go get a star player to come and to play for us. That never works in Sacramento. Chris Webber didn't even want to come, right? Like, let's take it all the way back. That kind of was fell by accident, so to speak. Like, and that wasn't even a free agent; that was a trade, right? So, like, guys don't come to Sacramento for free agency, not for their first choice. So you got to take care of your internal talent, and I feel like they let one go. So yeah, a little frustrated with the Kings right now. Um, but yeah, let's move on. Let's move over to some other moves. We're gonna do actually, you know what? We got to hit on this one too because this is one of the other big ones, which I feel like is not that big, but it is a big deal because of the name. You call this one in the off season, early season, throughout the season. Jimmy Butler being moved. Honestly, at initial thought, I thought the Jimmy Butler to the Bay would be great. This is probably like in November, December. The more I kind of thought about it, I was like, I'm watching the team. I don't think it's going to make too much of an impact. But what's your thoughts on Jimmy Butler to the Bay?
Man, this is just nasty. I'm just gonna be real with it, man. From top to bottom, this is just nasty. The way he handled himself in Miami was nasty, right? Its impact.
Yes.
This also goes to the that greater conversation that we're having tonight about why owners are feeling some type of way.
Yep.
This is another
Yep.
scenario where
1,000%.
this could impact contracts moving forward with the way he handled himself. Even if you feel a certain type of way about your franchise and you want your franchise to do more, to bring in more talent so that you can compete for championships, that doesn't give you credence to breach contract. In no other circumstance in the world are we empowered to breach contract just because the contract never said us as the Heat have to trade for XYZ player in order to get XYZ result, right? Contract states we're going to give you XYZ dollars to be XYZ player. So for him to go about it the way he did was just disgusting to me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. And I gotta cook you a little bit. Golden State is nasty for this. This is nasty for Golden State.
This is desperation.
Thirst to, appease Steph. We're gonna go overpay 33-year-old Jimmy Butler to come here and half play, right? Because he's been hurt for the last few seasons. So he's gonna be missing games, right? He's gonna be going into business for himself, right? Promoting his own brand, and you just know 100%
it's coming.
That him and Draymond are going to butt heads. This is a doggone powder keg waiting to happen.
Oh man!
And for what? So that they can struggle to make the playoffs.
Let's talk about that.
Hard fought, ugly first round exit.
Let's talk about that.
Look, I hate to see Steph go out like this.
Yo, have you seen? I'm gonna show you a clip in a little bit about Steph.
I hate to see Steve Kerr go out like this. As much as I did not like Golden State, I never saw that this was going to be the way that dynasty ends.
All right, so peep this though. If I'm in the West right now, I'm looking at that 7 seed and that 4 or 5 seed. If the Warriors crept in and they can get into a 7 seed, could this Warriors team beat Memphis?
See, this whole thought experiment is nasty. This whole thought experiment is nasty, man. Let's pull up the standings, man. Where we at with it? Where are we at?
Because right now, you are 3 back from the Clippers. Right? And obviously you got the 7, 8, 9. So that means
look, man, Golden State is the 11th seed.
This is bad. Okay. 3 back from the Clippers, though. We're only 3 back from the Clippers.
Okay. Golden State is the 11th seed. They're going to be a play-in team. Again.
Can you win Can you win? Okay. Can you get up to 8 seed? Can they get up to the 8 and win 1 play-in game?
Sure. Like, is that where we are with Golden State?
I know, bro. I know. I hate seeing stuff like this.
We want to see Golden State win a play-in game just to get exited in the first round by OKC.
Whoa. It's sad, bro. It's sad. It really is. It's sad.
I don't want to see that, man.
I don't want to see stuff like that. Yo. Okay, we'll come back to. There's one thing I want to talk about. We're gonna move off the Warriors. So my thoughts on this. You summed it up perfectly. Yeah, with the I'll use the term the dating analogy. I'll even like that. What you texted me and Erica was cracking up laughing. But this is desperation. And would I have Jimmy over Andrew Wiggins? Yeah, sure. Right, but is Jimmy moving the needle for me? No. Steph is. I hate seeing Steph go out like this. I really do. It reminds me of a lot like Kobe and was it 2014? I can't remember the year. Like when it was just kind of yeah, when it was just nasty work, bro. Like it reminded me of that Kobe year, and it's just like, oh man, like I don't even want to watch this. But what I do want to talk about though briefly is let's talk about the Phoenix Suns. So we're gonna pause on the trade stuff for a second, but the Phoenix Suns is very interesting to me. We're gonna trade Brad Beal. Okay, wait, he doesn't want to agree to this because he has a no trade option. Okay, we're not gonna trade Brad Beal, who's been sitting on the bench the last few weeks. Then you have D Book and you got KD. Oh, we're going to trade KD, but KD didn't ask for a trade. We're going to trade him to Golden State. Well, he doesn't want to go to Golden State. So we're going to trade him to Miami. Well, Miami, that doesn't work out. So we're going to bring them all back. Meanwhile, we're sitting at the 9 seed right now, and we have a three-headed monster that should be put us in the top 4 seed. What the hell is going on in Phoenix?
Ownership.
Which
Matt Ishbia came in. He thought he was some type of maverick, right? For lack of a better word. He thought he had it all figured out. If he just copped KD and copped, a third star, that they'd be a shoe in. And it's like, bruh, like, did you not just watch what the Clippers did?
They are a disaster.
We just saw this. That model is over. Now, say what you want about the Lakers and superstars and all that. This idea of a big three model is over. That is done. You can't afford it. You can't afford anybody else to pair with those guys. So you're left with a three-headed monster and, T-Rex arms. You know what I'm saying? And in this specific situation, they messed up when they got Brad Beal, man. They messed up when they took on that contract. It's hands down the worst contract in the NBA by far.
Hold on, I gotta look. What is Brad Beal averaging this year? I don't even know.
And then you alienate KD. That was the part of this I didn't understand. You're gonna trade KD for Jimmy Butler? What? What?
Okay. Brad Beal averaging 17. Okay, he's started 23 out of 40 games. I just don't know. I don't know what the hell you do in Phoenix. Honestly, didn't they just get rid of Yusuf Nurkic too?
They did.
What do you got to blow this up this offseason? You got to blow it up. And if I'm
this is an indictment on Kevin Durant. There.
Yeah, we're gonna have.
I said it.
We're gonna have a whole nother KD legacy conversation at some point because, like, how many stops are we gonna do, right? Like, how many times are we gonna do this?
He never should have left Golden State. He let ego. This is a situation that was killed by ego, right? Mm-hmm. He had an opportunity. Now, it would have been nasty for him to go back to Golden State. I ain't gonna front. But he at least would have been able to redeem his narrative.
Yeah.
But in this situation, he says no, right? And now he's in a situation in Phoenix where he probably wants out there. He's probably going to ask out this offseason, most likely. So where are we at with KD's legacy? Like you said, we're going to touch on this on another pod. But for me, I mean, this, if we're looking at his life, in a biblical sense in the book of life, man, there's a lot of sins. There's a lot of sins there.
You stupid. Hold on. There's a couple of clips I want to get off. No, pause. We're going to come back to some trade stuff. But I before I forget, I want to get your take on a few of these. Let's see. Where we at here? We are okay. So speaking of who messed it up in Golden State, we're gonna start right here. This was the Lakers and Warriors the other night where old man Braun put up a nasty was it 42-17 and 8 or something like that?
Yeah, you went crazy.
Let's watch this for a second. Yo, I feel bad for my man Steph.
Steph looks cooked. I ain't even gonna front.
Draymond gets an attitude. It's approaching the ref, cussing out the ref. Look at Draymond. Bro, you missed the free throw. Look at Steph.
Bro, he gets so much. He gets away with so much.
Look at Steph. Look at Steph, bro. Look at Steph's face. Hold on.
Steph and Power Dude. Yo, Draymond breath stink too.
Look at Steph's face. Bro, look at my man's face, dog. He want to retire tonight. Like, look
Yeah,
at
bro.
bro. What? I feel bad for Steph, bro. I wanted to share that. Let me share this one too, because I got a laugh out of this one too. Look at this clown, bro.
Bro, why is he hooping like that at that size?
Bruh,
Like,
come
why are you
on.
trying to Euro around beef stew?
Bro, this man was MVP 2 years ago.
Man, this is egregious.
Then check this out though. This man gets mad at his teammates though for not hustling back. Yo, watch Kelly Oubre crash out, bro. I'd crash out too if Joel tried to approach me like this. Like, you the last one. You the last one. Because he tried to
Bruh.
say he didn't hustle back. Eyes big. Yo, Oubre crashing out, bro.
Yeah, Oubre is ready to fade him. Yeah, that's
Hey,
crazy.
hey, look at Eric Gordon, though, bro. Like, bro, I'm just here to get this check real quick, bro.
Like, bro, I ain't even asked for none of this. I ain't even gonna hold it.
Yo, Oubre about to crash out, bro.
Yeah, this is wild. This is a wild scene on the bench, man. Joel Embiid, man, this is not the guy you want as the centerpiece in your locker room, bro. I can see that now, man.
Bro,
I
what
can see
happened?
that
Though?
now.
Real quick, we won't get into too much, but what happened? Like, literally, what happened from the 2023 season playoffs to the Olympics to the start of the season to like what has happened?
Man, you know what they say, man. It's not on you, it's in you, man. And I
For
feel
sure.
like the part that's in you, the intangible part, that's the thing that separates greatness from itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you take a Wemby and a Bol, right?
Yeah.
Everybody can say, man, Wemby's only doing that because he's taller than everybody else. Wemby's only doing that because he's got a 10-foot wingspan. But you look at Bol, who's OTL, right? And you know, let you know Kenyon Martin tell it. He knows why, right? So it's what's inside here that separates, you know, guys who are really talented from guys who are great. And I feel like with Joel Embiid, man, he doesn't have this, and he doesn't have this.
Between the three of us, our takes. Sometimes we make some wild takes, but that Joel Embiid top 10, that might be the depth of you, bro. That might be
Hey,
the one.
man, look,
You ain't never gonna get that
I'll
one
die
back.
on that hill, man. I'll
Yeah,
die on that hill. He
but you know
was
what?
top 10.
He was. To be fair, he was. All right, because I want to chat Super Bowl halftime real quick. So let's do some quick takes. I'm gonna mention some other trades that happened that were somewhat impactful. DeAndre Hunter to the Cavs.
I like that move.
It's a nice solid piece. I feel like the Cavs, they're not falling off much, but you know it's just the down days of the NBA. But I feel like this adds another little spark to them. I like his two-way offense and defense. I feel like it's a nice pickup for him.
Yep.
Clippers got Bogdanovich, and they got somebody else too. They got Ben Simmons in the buyout. Yo, bro, when I heard there was a market for Ben in the buyout, when I heard that the Cavs and the Clippers were both interested, I was like, how? And that's Rich Paul. That's got to be all Rich Paul, right?
Well, I guess if you don't have to pay him that ridiculous contract, I mean, I guess he is worth a roster spot. You know what I mean? Like,
Is he?
I guess.
Is he?
I don't know, man. He's gonna be getting his fits off in LA. That's all I know.
Yo, you know what? Shout out to the Clippers, who are what 4 or 5 right now in the West. With I don't even know, is Kawhi back? Like, was he still back?
This 7th.
Okay, they fell a little bit. Is Kawhi still back? I don't even know.
Who knows?
I don't even know. Oh, anywho, they gonna
They're
be
decent. I mean, they're a playoff team.
they gonna be a nice playoff exit for somebody. So let's see, Nurkic, Dennis Schroeder, who got traded like 4 times in like 48 hours, bro. Right after he made the slavery statement.
Yeah, they treated Dennis Schroeder like a hoe. I ain't even going.
And they treated that man like
That
Tiana
slavery
Trump,
statement
bro.
was crazy though. That was like, bro, like this thing, like stop comparing sports to slavery. I'm sorry, bro. Slaves weren't making millions of dollars to play a
Yo,
sport.
bro, they treated that man like Tiana Trump, bro. Like they just passed that man around like he was a straight thotty, bro. Oh, all right. What about Kyle Kuzma to Milwaukee?
Hated it. Listen, man, I agree that they needed to move on from Middleton. He's been pretty much hurt since their championship. But I mean, like, what is Kyle Kuzma? Like, what are you hoping to get from Kyle Kuzma? He's having his worst season in his career, and that's not saying much.
How are you having your worst season and you're playing in Washington when you get all the shots? Yo, like the Jordan Poole, Kyle Kuzma experiment was hilarious, bro. So,
to me, man, this further emphasizes how bad that Damian Lillard trade has panned out for this team, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just feel like, I mean, they're fifth on the East. I don't find them as a threat to win anything. They may make the second round of the playoffs, but in my view, Giannis is keeping this team afloat. You know, even though I want to say Dame is, you know, on par with his season average, their team identity just doesn't align with what you need to be a championship contender, in my opinion.
Yeah, we're gonna have to hit on that in further because sometimes I watch and I'm trying to figure out what is wrong. Like, what is the loss of Middleton really that big on that team? So we'll have to dig into that a little bit more. Brandon Ingram to Toronto. Look, I feel like Brandon Ingram and Julius Randle are perfect for the Raptors. I feel like Julius Randle, he just need to go there next. Like those are guys. Get your shots up. Play for a team that has no chance of making the playoffs, but are NBA players. You know what I mean? Like Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, to me are the same dude doing the same thing. So that doesn't move the needle at all to me. Let's see. I think those were the main ones. Yeah, last one was Jonas Valanciunas to the Kings. Now, this is the big man I felt like the Lakers could have got, you know? Like that would have been a better, maybe not a vertical threat for Luka, but if he was available in the buyout market, and Bruiser, yeah, I feel like he'd be a good one for the Lakers. But anywho, the Kings, I feel like just acquired pieces that don't mesh and they're not doing anything. You know what I mean? They're just collecting niggas. Just when you go to the Kings, bro, niggas just collecting checks. Like, let's be real, you just collecting your checks. You know, you taking your wife out. You picking up some thotties. Like, you ain't have no desire, no habits of winning basketball games. So, all right, before we get out of here, we got the Super Bowl tomorrow. We got Kendrick Lamar at the halftime show. There's all this talk. Is he going to perform Not Like Us? To me, there's no way you do not perform Not Like Us. It's the biggest song in the world for like the last year. What verse he does, it doesn't matter. He's going to perform the song. The crowd is probably going to be screaming A minor, just like at the Grammys. Stuff like, are you excited about the game? Are you excited about the halftime show? Like, what you excited about for tomorrow? Man, at the Grammys.
Yo, this halftime show is the proverbial peeing on Drizzy's grave.
It's the Bart Simpson whipping it out and just piss up. Meanwhile, Drake is down under, having the performance of a lifetime, bro, out here popping in Australia.
Look, man, look. One thing I will say, and you know, I don't want to put too much on this, but man, this weekend is the most we've seen Kendrick. He did an interview with Apple. He did another interview with Timothy Chalamet,
which is kind of cool.
But I must say, for the energy that we received on those diss tracks, the Negro seem a little docile, don't he? Like he don't
bro.
seem like he's not talking his ish like you would expect someone who just did what we witnessed
To
to
be
talk. You know what I mean?
to be to keep it a buck, to me, he's doing everything that he kind of accused Drake of being, in a sense of like you're corporatized, right?
Right,
Like you're
right,
right, like you're not. I don't want to say like you're not for the street, but like to me, you're kind of the corporate pawn now, so to speak.
right,
And
right,
but I wanted to see Kendrick with more energy. I wanted to see
right,
him hype. I wanted to see it like, yeah, like this is like I wanted to see Man of the Garden in the flesh. Like I deserve it all.
right,
I deserve
right,
I
right,
deserve it
right.
all. Like
We need the language for
GNX. I need GNX
after
in real life.
after we get a Negro gone, so to speak.
Yeah, right,
We
right,
need
right.
that energy to kind of understand what that looks like. And so far, haven't seen it, but I am still extremely excited about this
Yeah,
halftime show. I'm excited to see what songs he performs, whether or not he performs Not Like Us. I still think it's going to be, a pretty impactful experience for us. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that. Honestly, man, as far as the game is concerned, I feel like
mhm,
this is just another opportunity
mhm.
to bolster, Pat Mahomes' narrative, man. You know what I mean? Like that's all we're
Yeah,
doing right now.
bro. We question for you. Last question before we get out of here. Is there a chance Kendrick lets us down at the performance?
Mm.
Because think about
I
this.
feel,
The
I
reason I
feel
say that is because there's so much hype, right? What's he gonna do? What? And is there a chance we sit back and be like, that was cool, right?
let's
What
be
are your
very
thoughts on that?
clear. Let's be very clear. That is what the OV hoes are hoping for. All right. The OV hoes are hoping that Kendrick has a mid or
Mhm,
less performance.
mhm.
But you know what, man, I don't know if you watched it. Amazon Prime has his Mr. Morale
Oh yeah. Oh, he's.
concert.
I've been to one of his concerts. Like, he puts
I
on a
just
show.
don't see like
Yeah. Day
for
free, they put on a
the
throw.
lack of energy that he has I guess in his normal state, he makes up for it in his
Yeah,
performance. I feel like he's one of those artists that truly speaks through his art form, and I think
yeah.
the halftime show is going to be no different, in my opinion.
Bro, there's gonna be some nice little Easter eggs in that thing too. You know he's gonna be dissing. You know he's gonna be dissing, and you know the day after the bowl we're gonna be analyzing what he was doing, this, that, and the other. So I'm excited about the performance. The game at this point is just like a holiday in the sense of like we're gonna eat some good food, we're gonna chill, we're gonna watch the game, and that's that. So but cool thing about it is next time we chat, we'll have to talk about the All-Star NBA All-Star weekend, which the TNT crew did their thing. We'll talk about that. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that, and then we got the second half of the season, man. So, all right,
Luca
bro.
Luca
Well,
plays Monday. Luca plays
yeah,
Monday.
Luke does play Monday, so I'm sure we'll text tomorrow during the halftime show. So I'll holler at you, bro.
Yep.
All right, man. Later.